All right, we're live. We're here with Daniel Watkins this morning, another morning interview. This is, this is the third morning in a row I've been doing interviews with musicians. It's kind of weird.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
You've
I,
been busy too.
totally. Yeah, very busy. Uh, so let's just start with you introducing yourself. Uh, how did you get started in music? How long have you been playing music? Uh, where do you
Yeah,
live? That sort of thing.
sure. I play folk music and um I like bluegrass music too. I've been playing music since probably 9 years old, but I didn't really dive into it till I think high school. And when I got my first summer job, I it was pumping gas for boats on the river in Henry, and I would wait there and have nothing to do, so I would always have my guitar with me. And
It was like a great job.
it was a really good job. I would make some pretty good tips, not only for just helping boaters out, but just they see a guy with a guitar and like, hey, what's up?
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, that was a really fun job, and I didn't get. I don't even think I really got super crazy as far as trying to make a living off this till recently, but um, I continued to play, and I did go to ICC for a little bit. Thought I wanted to do the music major thing, and that was really fun. I had great teachers, but I ended up, for personal reasons, I ended up uh, deciding I was going to take a break for a while, and then never returned. and
Yeah.
But I kept on playing, and then, like I said, recently I decided, I was sick of my factory job that I was stuck at, and I would finally just go all in because I was already busy playing all over the place, and it was getting to the point where I really didn't have, quote unquote, a weekend or a break from anything. So it was like, well, I could keep working
Yeah.
at this factory job that's not going to go anywhere, or I could, invest a little bit more energy into this thing that, might be fruitful down the road or even more fruitful. And, here we are.
Yeah, here we are. How long have you been, would you say, full time, do you think?
I went full time officially February of 20
So a
19.
year, a little over a year ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice. Was
Yep.
there someone along the way that you feel like was like very instrumental in encouraging you to take that leap of faith, or was it just something that just happened
So
over time? Or
so many people,
yeah,
actually. A lot of musician friends. A lot of people involved with either the business of music or performing, mostly performers, which is kind of crazy, right? Because who would ever encourage someone to take on this lifestyle? But I mean, I was already in it, I was
sure,
already doing it, and it was something I loved, and I clearly wasn't going to be happy um, doing anything else. So there really wasn't, in my opinion, there in my head there wasn't any other option,
yeah,
and um, but specifically, I really did have several people. I think my friend Jake Willis was a guy who had been kind of pushing me to quit my day job for a while, and a few others. I just think I don't know. I think I'm finding that the best things you just kind of have to take the chance on and just go for
sure,
it, you know. And even in the situation we're in now, like I don't regret making the decision. Like I am
yeah,
a million times happier than I ever was working at
yeah,
my regular
man.
day job. And that's not this I don't, want to speak poorly about like having a regular job, you know, like I enjoy working too, you know. I very much enjoyed my factory job, but you know, at the end of the day, was it was it where I wanted to see myself down the road? No, you know, it just wasn't for me.
Yeah, right.
So,
Makes sense. So before all of the pandemic and everything happened,
mhm.
what was your life like in terms of like what were the things you were doing every day in order to make the music possible? Like what did your life look like?
I usually wake up like I mean, now when I'm teaching and even then before all this, you know, just trying to think about well, I also was involved in a lot of music projects too. So basically I wake up and I learn songs and practice them. I mean, that's sounds kind of simple, but it really is that simple. I wake up and I just study and practice what I need to do. You know, now that lessons are online, I pretty much just log in and I'll screen share YouTube and we'll look up songs that students want to learn. And if I can find um, something within that song that they can take away and apply to, you know, something else, you know, or apply that knowledge to something else, you know, that's more or less what I try to do every day. And then as far as like studying for my own personal stuff, you know, I have a little bit of that more so
Yeah.
now than before. Before I was pretty stretched thin trying to keep track of all these different songs for various bands and stuff. So I guess I should mention that, you know, I was involved playing with, you know, West Duffy Trio, Harvest Sons. I was playing with some of the guys from River Valley Rangers, and it was looking like I was going to play some more with them um, until all this happened, you know. So,
Yeah.
uh, yeah, man, I just
What
wake
about
up and
like the administrative side of things? I mean, you're a one man show basically, so you're doing everything, right? You're
Google Calendar's my friend.
right?
So I have in detail like everything I need to do basically scheduled in my Google Calendar. So like guitar lessons, like even down to like I have some personal stuff in there too, but like mostly just like okay, I got to meet with this person about this or rehearsals
Yeah.
on this day. I'm pretty detailed, and I have stuff like I try to have everything mapped out. You know, well, definitely gigs mapped out if I can several months ahead of time, but also like just rehearsals. I like to have know those weeks in advance so
Yeah.
I know what to prepare for. Like you know, if I know I have a gig coming up with this band and I have X amount of rehearsals, okay, well maybe I should be practicing this stuff more, you know, this week and have that really, you know, kind of in
Yeah.
there, bouncing
Yeah.
around um and as far as administrating and booking, like oh my gosh, that's almost like all the time, right?
Right, right.
Like
I mean,
you
that
kind
never
of
ends. You got that, you know, you got to keep your website up. You've got to
yeah,
promote
the
your
website
stuff. You've got to,
yeah, the website stuff I feel like to me designing a website and I mean once you have the design you don't have to change it that much unless you have if unless you're rolling out like a new album and you want you know have a new look to kind of go along with that album for that year so you don't have to really mess with design and stuff as much but like it does take time right but
and it's also not it's not playing music. It's like, it's just something else that's
yeah
required though for you to be able to do this, right? Like,
yeah I think you know all the other stuff that's not playing music I think there's still ways to be creative and fun doing those things. It's just you almost have to trick yourself into doing it, I guess. You have to make it a game. You have to make it fun for yourself cuz otherwise like you just probably will never do it. And then there's certain things you just have to do no matter what, and you kind of have to force yourself to do it, even if it isn't fun, because that's
Right.
healthy to do, right? I don't know. Uh,
Right.
but
Right, right. So so now, I mean, since everything's been on lockdown, you've lost all of your gigs.
mm-hmm,
I guess before all this, like you said, you were giving lessons. You were playing in other
mm-hmm.
bands. You had a solo project. I don't know
Yeah.
if I'm missing anything, but pretty much all of that has gone out the window except for the teaching, and that's gone online now, right?
Mm-hmm. All of them are online. I do it through Zoom. I think other people have their preferences, and I think it's all just a matter of what you find works best with your setup and internet connection and whatever. But here I've just been using Zoom, and I do keep a few things like on a password protected page on my website for students to access.
Gotcha.
And then sometimes, like, even if they have like specific stuff for them, like, I'll even drop that in just like a Google Drive or something for them to access. But it's pretty, I mean, it's pretty simple. I've kind of enjoyed teaching online a little bit more because, like, it's just like I can just get them all cranked out in one, in a block of time, and I'll have like a short break in between, so I can go have a coffee or something between lessons, and it makes me having. I mean, obviously, not being in person is not ideal, right? So,
Sure.
but I feel like having to work with this situation is making me have to listen to them more, even more closely and meticulously, and also it forces me to have to be a better communicator, and I don't think that's a bad thing. I'm learning. We should always be learning how to do things better and do the best we can with what we got. And I think I think people are gonna find that, at least musicians are gonna find that. I mean, I think creative types are pretty versatile, and um, I think we're gonna come out of this way way better for all this. I
Man,
think
that's good to hear.
I'm already seeing it. I mean, I'm just like the level of marketing. You watch all this stuff going on online, all this music, and everybody's just doing a tremendous job at at dealing with it, and the support from fans and music fans and enthusiasts has been great too. I think people are really going to have their stuff together and be ready to roll out soon, you know.
I think
And
you're
I
right.
think, especially after being cooped up and having all this energy and not being able to perform one on one, you know, I certainly realize it, and I know other people realize it, and I hope people understand the things that we have taken for granted for so many, so long, so many years. I mean, you can't replace that one-on-one interaction. You know it, and
Right.
you host all those house concerts and the Sunday concerts in Galva, and you saw it.
It's
You know
magic,
what it
man.
is.
Yeah.
When you're there in person, you can't replace that. And the effect, you see the effect that it has on people's lives. When you see the same people from year to year, you see how they grow over time, and how, like, these positive experiences can really change their lives for the better. So we're getting in the weeds there, but
No, it's good. I think so. So, have you done any like live stream performances?
I've done a few, and I've tried not to do too many because I feel like I'm still playing with a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Um, I've got my audio setup figured out. So I that was really the thing that bothered me the most, and I know it bothered a lot of other musicians too, is just the sound quality.
Hmm.
And I think some people kind of already had it figured out before this, but I think now everybody's
Yeah,
starting to get, catch on. And
totally.
so what I've been running through is just a couple condenser mics and a nice little audio interface. I was lucky enough that I had all these things kind of in place before all this happened. Like I had already bought a brand new MacBook last year because I knew I was going to be working from home a lot more. And so I had that, and I had these condenser mics, and I kind of already had my Fishman Loud box that I would take the gigs with an auxiliary insert.
Yeah,
So all I needed was a nice interface to plug my mics into, and I basically had my monitor, my computer, and my microphones. So I'm still kind of messing with placement and stuff during streams, but when you start to get involved in a performance, I start to move around a little bit.
right,
I have to make sure that I'm kind of keeping things
right.
locked. Um, it it's been interesting seeing everybody's different setups.
It
Some
is.
people got
Oh
some
yeah,
really good setups,
they're.
and
I've been really
I'm sure
impressed with some.
yeah. I feel like you're kind of a gearhead. I know I'm a gearhead when it comes to this stuff. Like I don't know that much, but like I'm always like hungry to learn more about it,
Yeah,
especially
yeah,
lately. And oh man, some of the studio setups that people have are just ridiculous.
they are.
Like I would love to, you know, play with that stuff.
There's some really cool technology. It's amazing, really, and I think it's really developing too as a result of this. Like there's a lot of advancement going on.
It, it's accelerating pretty quickly, and I mean, I got on. I shout out to Andy Hatfield, by the way. I was helping him with some stuff. Um, he well, I took a couple lessons with him because I still take lessons, and
Nice.
I took lessons with him, and I took some music theory classes with my buddy Todd Hazelrig. Just because it's good to always keep learning. And anyways, Andy said to me at one point, like, "What are you using on your guitar? It sounds really, really good." And so I kind of told him my setup, and then I'd kind of casually mentioned this um, broadcasting software that I was using. And so then so I was kind of telling him how to use that yesterday. And so it's been fun. Like, we're all kind of learning these technologies and becoming better, you know,
Yeah.
better for it. It's really great. And my friend who turned me on to this broadcasting software is also a musician who's also been using it. Shout out to Tim Brickner, Matthew Curry band.
Uh-huh.
Um, they've been doing great videos, um, putting them together. And so I'm kind of at home right now trying to think of different ways to engage people and be entertaining through this. I don't, there's a bunch of cool things you could do with this broadcasting software that's not just like sitting and playing your guitar.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of exploring those things, and I'm trying not to busy myself too much. I want to kind of really put in some time on some of these things and figure them out. So live streams have been, very few for me.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Sorry,
I
I
think
went
I
off
think
on
you're
a tangent.
fortunate. I think there's a lot of musicians out there who right now are relying on live streams for income, and that's the only way they're
Yeah,
getting by.
it's crazy right now, and I've tried to encourage some of my friends to teach as well because I think that's, you know, I think the thing about teaching, like some people are like, well, I'm not that good. I can't teach. But the thing is like sometimes people, like especially if you're a traveling or touring or a professional musician, you have experiences that go beyond just your technical ability on your
Yeah,
instrument. And sometimes people they want that. They want to learn from that, not just, they don't want to just learn how to play something like absolutely perfectly. They want your unique perspective on how to, you know, interpret some of these abstract ideas that we call, musical. And
yeah,
I think I just really encourage people to try to teach. I think it not only you not only learn a lot from it and your students, but it is a viable way to or a sustainable way to make a living if you put the time and energy into it and allow it to grow. Like
sure.
any seed will grow if you nurture it. So I just encourage people to maybe start thinking about that. It's you know part of being a musician is not just playing gigs and like there's so many other things you can do and be lucrative doing it, and you just have to be creative and figure those things out. And I'm not saying I have it all figured out, but I just
Yeah.
know what's helping me get through right now. So um
So do you think
and
good going forward, do you think you're going to be doing more or less, or like what do you think the future is going to look like once we get out of this? I mean,
I am definitely going to continue teaching because it's something that I was beginning to enjoy, and now, I mean, it's the only thing I have to enjoy right now. But um, yeah, I'll definitely continue to teach, and I do think this pause has shown me that there's more time at home to invest in certain things. I think I just need to be a little bit more careful about how busy I keep myself because we hustle and hustle and then for what end, and sometimes I know I get caught up in the hustle and kind of forget what what the goal is, what the end game is. What am I doing this for? And
yeah.
I think you could apply that to so many other things other than music, but um, for my situation, yeah, I think I am going to be careful going forward about how how I'm gigging. Like I don't know if I want to keep going playing the same places. If I get some interesting like if I get interesting opportunities to play, you know, fun gigs, then I'll definitely take them. I like playing. I like
But it may
playing
not be
music,
your
but
focus going forward.
I wouldn't say that. I just say I think I just need to be smarter.
Yeah.
If
Yeah,
that makes sense.
that makes sense.
Strategy. Just not take any gig just because it's a gig. You know,
Yeah.
I do a lot of that. I play a lot of gigs, and some of them, there's nothing wrong with playing a lot of gigs, but you know, I wanna I wanna do something sustainable. I don't want to just play this place because I need to pay rent.
Sure.
Like I want to play because it's not just like that quick. Let's just put it this way: you play, and this is no offense to pizza places, but you play Joe Schmo's Pizza Place for $150, and you have that $150. It's great. Go get groceries. You do your thing, and you're able to keep going for a few weeks, and that's great. But then, how long is Joe Schmo's Pizza Place going to be open? And are they always going to be able to offer you $150?
Hmm.
And are you even going to be able to bring in people to Joe Schmo's Pizza Place to maybe ask for more money? But then, is that place designed to have that many people? Is it really like set up for music for the ideal situation? Like, do people at Joe Schmo's Pizza Place even want to hear your music? You know, like there's all these other things, you know. So what's more sustainable? What's gonna grow? You know,
Yeah.
and because like I love playing pizza places, so don't
Sure.
get me wrong, but like my favorite gigs are being shoved in the corner because it makes you work, and there's a reason for doing those gigs. It keeps you sharp doing those gigs. Forces you to have to learn to engage with people who don't want to engage with you. You know that makes you good. You get chops, but you know eventually you want to grow from there. You know you don't want your dreams to die at Joe Schmo's Pizza Place, right?
Your
So
dreams to die.
I'm just
Oh, that's funny.
I'm you caught me at like the best time of day because my mind's usually going at a million miles a minute this time of day. And this is usually when I just like keep my mouth shut. You know, I'm just going around. I'm just like, yeah.
No, that's awesome, man. Very cool.
Well,
Let's see. Have you been, I guess, surprised by the level of support that you've seen either from your fans or like from fans of other friends of that are musicians during this time? Has that been something that's like kind of blown you away? Uh,
yeah, a little bit, a little shocked, but then not that surprised. You know, I'm not surprised that people are showing support, but I guess some of that support exceeded my expectations for sure.
yeah,
People have been, I have found just across the board, people have just been kind. So long as you aren't logged on to Facebook for too long, like people seem a lot nicer.
yeah,
Um, no, really, I've had students' parents like drop off meat for me, and I've had people gifting me a ton of deer meat. So I've had people helping me, you know, and I've had people leave me some generous tips when I have live streamed.
yeah.
Um, it's nice, and I'm trying to think of ways I can return that favor. You know,
Sure.
it's I'm pretty busy, but I still kind of got these things in the back of my head. Like, man, I need to figure out a way to do something. I know we won't get too crazy into it, but I know you've sent me a few ideas about doing some things for some of the food banks and um, yeah, we'll talk more about that. You know, but um, it's part of the reason why I started getting into the gardening and growing and stuff because I'm thinking, you know, people are gonna need to eat, and if I can figure out how to start growing my own food and then maybe some extra, I don't know, who knows?
Yeah,
Something I've been kicking around a lot lately, you know.
that's cool.
Um, yeah, that's a whole the gardening and sustainable living thing's a whole world. It's a really big rabbit hole to jump into. I'm finding because
Oh yeah, definitely.
I'm getting really excited jumping in. So hopefully my plants don't die and I can learn a few things. You know. So
That's awesome, man. Well, I think we'll wrap it up here. Do you have anything else you want to say?
uh, I want to say hi to everybody. You know,
Yeah,
everybody meaning like everybody in the music world that normally I probably would have hung out with by now, but I haven't seen even some of my closest musical friends, and summer camp's coming up, and I don't make it there every year, but when I do, it's oh my gosh, it's I can't walk 3 feet without saying hi to somebody, and Hartford Fest.
Yeah.
I'm really sad about that. Usually we take, that's the weekend I take off. I will not gig for that weekend. And
Right.
we take Mira down, and my parents go down too. So I'm just missing everybody, and I want to say hi to everybody. And I want to thank everybody who's shown some kindness, and I encourage people to keep spreading that love to others as well. And get off the Facebook, people. Get on there to watch people's live streams, but then get off and quit acting crazy, y'all. People need to calm down a little bit and try to find empathy for others and be kind to others and be healthy. Wash your hands. Don't touch your face. Wear the mask. Do all the stuff.
Right.
Just be nice. Oh, and quit wearing your mask in your car. You look stupid.
Man.
That's all I have to say, John.
Where can people find out more about what you're up to?
You can go to my website, danielwatkinsmusic.com, and that's usually where I would post all my gigs, and then there should be a link to my Facebook there, so you can go to my Facebook, Daniel Watkins Music, as well. And if you're already friends with me personally on Facebook, I post stuff there, but I really encourage you to go to my music page, because that's really where you need to go.
Yeah. What if someone wants to take lessons? How do they get a hold of you?
You can find my email. I think, yeah, you can find my email on my website and my Facebook. I would encourage you to email me directly. You can do a direct message on Facebook as well. It's just a little bit easier for me to keep track if you just email it to me, though. Facebook's goofy.
I know. Yeah, I totally get it, man.
So, but yeah, you can message me on Facebook. But if you do that, make sure you message my music page, not my personal page. I'm really trying to get more people just to go to there. But I know sometimes my personal page is probably the first one they see. I don't know.
Right.
I don't understand Facebook and why it does certain things, but yeah.
Right. Cool, man. Well, hey, it was great talking to you. It's been a while.
Yeah. Yeah, it has been a while. I hate to extend this on too long, but what's things looking like on your end? How are things going?
Yeah, I mean, we're all adapting, and that's basically where we're at. I'm enjoying the downtime and the time with family and all of that,
Mm-hmm.
and just trying to help musicians through this, and that's that's really it. Just trying to figure out, like you're saying, figure out new ways to connect with people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, best of luck, John. It was good talking to you, and
yeah, man, we'll be in touch.
At Levitt, and everybody in Galva's doing well, and everybody at your home's doing well, family and all. So.
All right, man. Have a good day. All right, we'll see you, Daniel. Thanks, man.